Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another NixOS tutorial video. If you'll recall, last time we took a look at this template, NixOS Hetzner Cloud Starter, which was a version of this original NixOS WSL starter that targeted a remote development environment on Hetzner Cloud. If you watched until the end of the video, you'll remember that I promised you guys that I would show you how to get everything nicely organized in a single repository. Because, okay, cool, maybe we can have NixOS on WSL and we can have NixOS on Hetzner Cloud. But ideally, wouldn't we like to have a single repository, a single reusable configuration that we can use for both? So that, my friends, is what we will be dealing with in this video. Here on the left, I have the NixOS WSL starter. So we'll go ahead and we'll open that up. And here on the right, we have the template for the cloud starter. So let's see, where can we start with this? So we have one NixOS configuration called NixOS. So why don't we make another configuration here called Hetzner. Okay, easy enough. And we're going to be actually using this, so I'm going to stick my username in there. So the first thing that looks a little bit off is that on Hetzner, we're not going to be running WSL, right? So already these modules can go, but then we have no modules, right? So this means we need to do a little bit of refactoring. We're going to take a look in here in this WSL file, and we're going to remove everything that is not related to WSL. So if I make a copy of this file, and I'll call that linux.nix, things that are Linux specific and not WSL specific, we can keep a copy of everything that we have so far. And in here, in this WSL file, we'll remove everything that is not specific to WSL. So networking hostname, that is not specific to WSL. Z-shell, again, that's more on the Linux level. Term info, wheel needs password. OpenSSH, that is all Linux. Users and groups, all Linux. System packages, Win32Yank. So Win32Yank is specific to WSL, so we're going to leave that in here. Home manager also is not specific to WSL, so we can remove that. System state, again, is not related specifically to WSL. This entire block we can keep, of course. It is the main WSL block. Moving on, Docker, we can get rid of that. Systemd stuff that we need for WSL, we can leave that in here, just in case we want to uncomment this and have this work around. And then the Nix settings are not specific to WSL either. So why don't we do a little comparison here? I'll find the original. Can I get rid of the files? Yes, I can. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So, hostname until system packages, all of this stuff is gone. Home manager stuff is gone. System state is gone. WSL is kept. Docker is gone. This is kept in. People can uncomment it if they're working with VS Code. And all of the Nix stuff is gone. So let's head back over here to the left. We no longer need hostname. Where is username used? Ah, okay, it's used there. All right, so we can save that. Now we can open up this. So let's git add linux.nix. And so here we want to do the opposite, right? We only want the things that, or rather, how should I rephrase this? We want to remove all of the things that are specific to WSL. So that is the Win32 Yank package. That is this entire WSL block here. And it is this fix for VS Code. Everything else here looks good. So if we head back over now to flake.nix, we can import linux.nix. This is pretty cool, right? So now we are reusing this common module. Well, actually, we're not yet, right? Because now we're missing a lot of stuff here. So we need to add linux.nix here as well, so that everything we had before, we again have in the WSL configuration. So far, so good. So far, so good. However, there are some things that we need from the Hetzner Cloud starter template, right? Those include the disk config file. So I'm just going to copy that. Touch disk config.nix. So we can open that and add that in here. And what else? Maybe we should just look in the flake.nix here. So we also need Hetzner, and we need disk.io NixOS modules. So let's pull, we'll pull this one in first. In order to use this, we need to add these inputs. So I'll add the inputs right at the top. And then we can add in the disco configuration. And then next we have this hetzner.nix file. So let's have a look at that in the template. This is mainly the stuff that we got from the NixOS Anywhere starter template. So we're going to add that in as well. Touch hetzner.nix. And you can see that imports our disk config here. What else does it do? Does some stuff with the bootloader. It enables SSH so that we can log in. It disables password authentication, and it has this extra config to not print last log. We will also need the id.rsa.pub file. We'll get to that. But let's take a look here. Git. So we need to add disk config. We need to add Hetzner. And I think this is looking all right. This is turning into a bit more of a live refactoring session. I hope you all don't mind. Yeah, so let's head back to flake.nix in the Hetzner Cloud starter. So a bit bigger. All right, so we have the disco NixOS modules disco. Then we need hetzner.nix. And you know what? I think we're pretty good at this point. So we added disco. We added a configuration just for Hetzner. we did that refactor to pull out the Linux file. We got rid of Win32 from the Linux Nix file. We got rid of the WSL blocks. Yeah, what's going on? There we go. And then this is the opposite way. In WSL.nix, we got rid of Linux-specific stuff. And we got rid of Docker there, and we got rid of the Nix settings. So, I mean, if you really wanted, you could separate all of these out as well into like a nix.nix file. But me personally, I like to keep the Nix settings close together with the general Linux settings as well, because NixOS is a Linux distribution. So it makes sense for me in that way, you know? So, okay, that all looks good. So I think we can try applying this and seeing if we come up against any issues. So I had created a virtual machine for us to run this against. Let's copy that. And we should be able to reuse the instructions from here. So I need to run this to get my public key. And we can do git add id rsa.pub. The only fix me I think we care about here is the username. Yeah, since we just want to show that, hey, we have our WSL configuration and our Hetzner configuration in a single repo, and when we make changes to one, we can also make those changes to the other without having to commit to two separate repos. So we'll grab this. I think this is going to change here. This NixOS is going to become Hetzner. So actually, why don't we get out of this? So we want this to be Hetzner. And what was our IP address? Our IP address was here. Let's see. Fingers crossed that this works the first time. Though I would not be surprised if it didn't work the first time. I'm not that good. I am afraid to say I'm just not that good. But we have movement. The movement looks good. Okay. It looks like it has added the inputs. It's fetching a bunch of stuff from the cache. I think at this point it could still fail, you know? But it looks like this part at least was correct. So let's see. Let's see how this build goes. I'm thinking maybe I should publish this as a branch, perhaps? Oh yeah, it's working, sweet. So now it's logging into the system, it's setting up this remote VM. So while that's happening, yeah, I'm thinking, because I hadn't actually thought about how to share this code, but I'm thinking maybe on the NixOS WSL starter, or maybe I just make it its own thing, you know? So people don't have to fiddle around with branches. Yeah, I think maybe that's best. So, you know, we'll make a whole new template, and the template will be about how to handle multiple machine configurations that store the important stuff in reusable files. The important stuff in this scenario being the common Linux configuration stuff and everything in Home Manager. So a lot of the tools and packages that we install. And of course, you know, how we set up Starship, how we set up Git, how we set up Z Shell, all that good stuff. I do have to give a huge shout out to the people behind NixOS Anywhere that make what is happening here on the left possible. I did talk about this when we walked through the NixOS Cloud Starter on the video, but basically what NixOS Anywhere does, it lets you install NixOS any and everywhere via SSH. And it's really mind-blowing how easy it is, right? Because you come back to here, we're not even really installing NixOS Anywhere. We are running NixOS Anywhere from the remote Flake, and we're just pointing it at this server. One command, one configuration, one IP address. That's all it takes. And for me, that's mind-blowing. So this is currently maintained under the Nix community organization. However, it was initially developed by a company called Numtide. There we go. This project is supported by Numtide. And why don't we go and have a quick look over at the Numtide website. So it is a Nix and DevOps consulting agency. Damn, I would actually love to work for a company like this. Numtide, hit me up if you are ever hiring more folks in the US. And so anyway, this is one of the many things that they have built. They have a whole bunch of products. Ooh, this one looks interesting. I'm gonna save that one for later. But yeah, this one is NixOS Anywhere. And I think the link here is still old, but they also did blog posts on this. Here we go. The NixOS Anywhere 1.0 release. Today we're announcing the release and donation of NixOS Anywhere. And I think this is super cool, right? To solve a problem internally, and then share that knowledge with the world, especially when you're building on top of open source software. I have not actually watched this video. I will watch the video at some point. But, you know, I've read through this article. And yeah, it's really amazing what the open source community can do, you know. And I guess we should also give a special thank you to Kutamo, one of the biggest users and sponsors of NixOS Anywhere. So shout out also to Kumato Cloud. What does Kumato do? The future success of peer-to-peer economies requires that everyone can participate. Not entirely sure what this means, but luckily I don't have to figure it out because here on the left, we are finished. So the SSH keys will have changed. So we'll do SSH. This is a different IP address I got this time. 96.59. And so we need to remove line 25 and another one, line 24, because the SSH keys on the remote server have changed because we've installed a brand new operating system. So now I can log in and oh no, what did I do? I missed something. God damn it, I missed something. All right, let's figure out what I missed. So what did I miss? Oh my god, what did I miss? Okay, so we have the root key there. We have usernames, oh, I didn't add the SSH key. That was silly of me. Okay, I should have gone through all of the fix me's properly. So here we can assign an SSH key for our user. So right now I'm not able to log in with my user because I haven't done the thing. But luckily, this lets me show you guys how we can update a remote machine. So we're going to do NixOS rebuild switch flake dot hetzner. Target host is going to be this IP address. So this is going to, because the SSH key, public key, was set for the root user, we can still make modifications. Luckily, otherwise I would have had to do this all over again. So this is going to use that root account to log in and make those changes, and that change is going to be adding the SSH public key for my user, which means that now I can log in. Yes, I can log in. I'm not lying. I can log in. So, okay, we're here. We are in the VM, the cloud VM. And, you know, it has all of our stuff. It has cargo. It has our fancy Starship prompt. It has our Z shell RC file with all of our stuff. It has all of the good stuff, basically. And yeah, the most important thing about all of this is that now we have everything inside of a single repository. We have one repository that manages both, yes, let me get this up, both the configuration for WSL, which is this one, and the configuration for the remote development VM on Hetzner Cloud. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to make a brand new template. I'm going to share that when this video goes live. There will be a link to that that you can click in the description of the video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If anything was unclear, please do leave a comment. And of course, you know, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to all of my sponsors. They are all here. This is a private sponsor. This is Michael. Thank you, Michael, Timothy, Leandro, Maxwell, Gustavo, Solomon, Alex, Evan, who does not sucks. Evan rocks. I will stand by this. Evan rocks. Julian, and Hisayuki. I really, really deeply appreciate all of your support. And if you don't know, the main source of sponsors comes from this project of mine, Komorebi, which is a tiling window manager for Windows. If you have been looking at this video thinking, oh my god, how does he have a tiling window manager for Windows that looks so beautiful? It's because I wrote it myself in Rust, and I like to think that it is pretty cool. We will have a new release coming out in November, version 0.1.19. So please stay tuned for that. If you too would like to sponsor this project, the tutorials, anything in general, you can come over to the sponsor page. You can be either a one-time or a monthly sponsor. Even if it's just for $1 a month, it makes a huge difference to me. But if, however, you're not in a position to sponsor, you can always head on over to the YouTube channel where you're probably watching this video and hit subscribe. We're currently at 617 subscribers, which is very cool. We are aiming for 1,000 so that I can start to get a cut of that sweet, sweet YouTube ad revenue. And I have noticed there are a lot more ads playing on my videos now, so it would be nice to get a cut of that. All right, my friends, that is it for this time. I hope that whatever you all do today, you have a great day, and I hope to see you all back here next time. Goodbye for now.